Hello, today we will demonstrate how to use an Excel spreadsheet as a data source for active dashboards. First of all, we need to find the spreadsheet we require and open it in Excel. And then once we've opened the spreadsheet, to identify any ranges we want to use as pseudo tables for active dashboards. In this spreadsheet we have two regions or ranges we want to use, one showing data per region and another containing data per month. To use these ranges as separate tables in active dashboards, it's important that we name them and include in the range the column header names. If your data doesn't have any column header names, then you should create them prior to naming the ranges, as the data becomes much easier to manage in active dashboards. Here I will highlight and name the ranges this month data and year data, and then save and close Excel. Now this is done and we can close Excel. The next stage is to go to Control Panel, Administrative Tools, Data Sources ODBC, and then the System DSN tab. Here we can see various data sources already created, but we're going to add a new one. So by clicking on Add, we will then be presented with a list of the drivers available on the system. It's important that these drivers are available both on the server and any PC that you're using the tool on. Here we're selecting Excel. We will name our data source with a unique name, and then using the button Select Workbook, go to the relevant drive and workbook we require, which we then select and click OK. Now we can open our admin tool as we have everything in place to create the relevant charts. Once we open the admin tool, the first tab we will go to will be the Data Connectors tab. Here we will add a new data connector, and the first thing we should do is rename it, which we will to Excel1. We will change the data provider from SQL Server to ODBC, and then in the properties we will be presented with the system DSNs. We can simply select the one we have just created, test the connection and click OK. We now move to the Data Sources tab, where we are going to add a new data source. Again, rename it, and this time when we go into the SQL definition, we will, in the pop-up that appears, select our data connector and then select to use the Visual Query Builder. When the Visual Query Builder opens, we will use the top pane first of all to right-click and thereby see the two areas which we named, which are now displayed as tables within active dashboards. This allows us to use the data within these ranges as we would do with any table from any data source. So I'm going to select this month's data and then click Add Object, and you will see that our column names are shown as columns within a table. This allows us to use the data as if we were connected to a full database. In this case, I am now going to select the expenses column and the region column, and then using the middle pane I can decide to sum all the expenses and group by the regions. I've also added in an alias so that I get a nice name for my actual item when I build it, and I can test the results in the Show Query Results. I think I'll amend that to change the sort order so that I'm seeing it by expenses in descending order. Just check the results again, that's fine. Click OK and OK again, and now we can move to the Items tab. In the Item tab we can now add a new item and rename the title to Month Expense by region. This will be the title displayed at the top of the actual chart item when displayed in the dashboard. We know that the query gives us a single series of data, so we can leave the type as chart single series, but we do need to add the relevant data source that we have just created, and we can then move to the lower pane to select the item type that we require and to adjust the various properties to ensure that the display we achieve is what we want to achieve. Accordingly, in this case, I'm going to select bar as the type, and I will then advise it which columns to use as both the X and the Y axis. I can then make further adjustments to various properties such as animation, showing the values, the data plot style, decimal precision and prefix by easy selection from drop-downs or by adding the relevant prefix I require. By hitting the Save All button, all my changes are now saved and the preview of the item will display in the left-hand panel. At this point we wish to add it to a dashboard, so we can go to the Dashboards tab, add a dashboard, again alter the title as to the title that will be displayed for the dashboard. In the allowed items, select our item and save all. In this particular case I also want to change the layout to a 2x2 default layout, so hit save all, and by double clicking then on the dashboard name in the left hand column I can see the result of my dashboard in the default browser on my system. And there we have the chart. If I wish to build any further items using the data in the Excel spreadsheet, the tables and the connector have already been set up, and we can just simply go back to the data sources now and build further charts. Thank you.